Senator Hirono.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Crane, we've heard Ms. Donaldson recommending that expanding funding for the DOE's Office of Inspector General by rescinding some of the funds given by Congress for carrying out the Infrastructure Reduction Act, Investment Act and the Inflation Reduction Act, including funding for programs under your oversight, would be a good thing. Does DOE have the legal authority to transfer funds to the Office of the Inspector General?
Senator Hirono, I'm not an expert on that. I do know, as you're saying, that the department, and I certainly support this, that the Inspector General offices needs more funding. And I think we've asked for 92% more funding for the next fiscal year for the Inspector General's office, which of course we all support. The idea of can you reassign money, I'm new to government. I have no idea if you're allowed to do that.
Okay, well, you know what? Frankly, I believe that you do, in fact, do not have that authority. You should check, okay? Because while you agree that there should be more funds for the Inspector General that under the programs that I mentioned, under the acts that I mentioned, I don't think you have that authority. So maybe we need to change the law or something so that you can provide more funding. We should think about that. So one of the points made by Ms. Donaldson is that the vetting process, and Mr. Secretary Crane, you mentioned that the vetting center process has worked. Is this the three-person center that Ms. Donaldson referred to?
I don't think 3 persons is the current staffing of the.
What is the current staffing?
I'm not sure that that's, I mean, given the sensitive nature of what the vetting center does, I think it's more than double that in terms of the immediate employees, but they also leverage these other resources like the intelligence and counterintelligence office. Senator Hirono, what I would say is, at least in terms of the financial assistance programs, the vetting center takes as much time as they need to review all that they need to review. So if you look at the $10 billion of awards that we announced within the last week on transmission hydrogen, if it had not been for the vetting center process, we would have been announcing those awards at the beginning of September. So they take their time. It's only when they're done and they're comfortable that we move forward with selection.
Well, they have a big job to do, I take it, because it is the vetting center that makes all kinds of determinations relating to some $97 billion that the DOE got under these 2 acts that I mentioned. So even a doubling, that's 6 people. You can see that we have a concern about the adequacy of the resources that the vetting center has. And I think that it would behoove you to take a look at whether or not they are adequately sourced.
Senator, it's a very good point. They are staffing up, and the Inspector General's concerns, all of our concerns about the $92 billion, we are all aligned on that. What I'm just here to assure you is none of the awards that we've announced in the last couple of months have gone out without being thoroughly vetted by.
I think it's very clear that we have concerns about making sure that the funds that were appropriated, historic funds, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't have done it. In fact, we're really behind the 8 ball in terms of climate change and the impact. So these bills, these acts were a good thing. We just want to make sure that, that these funds are going where they should. So turning to wildfires, excuse me. I did have a question about how a small state like Hawaii, hold on for a second. Where's my wildfire question? Thank you. So, Secretary Crane, communities in Maui are still recovering from the August wildfires, and one thing is certain, wildfire is becoming an increasing threat in communities all across Hawaii and in the West particularly. And various utilities, including in California and Oregon, have taken steps in recent years to improve their equipment to better monitor for and be resilient during wildfire events. And these steps have come at significant cost. For communities with a relatively small population and utility rate base, like those in Hawaii and the rural West, what role do you see the federal government playing in helping utilities become more prepared for increasing wildfire risk?
Senator, it's so important to every American that's exposed to that, and Hawaii did win one of the wildfire resilience awards for Maui that was announced after the terrible fires there. The transmission awards that were just announced yesterday included 4 other awards across the western states for wildfire mitigation. And certainly, one of the good things about the transmission program is there's a second tranche of funds that are going to be put to solicitation within the next couple of months. And certainly, we're very happy with the wildfire mitigation we're doing in the first round. We'd love to see more of it in the second round.
So basically, the role of the federal government is to provide resources, money to
Yes.
enable smaller communities in rural areas and communities such as in our state to do the kind of mitigation that they need, that you are there as a source of funds.
Yes, sir, we're here to help.
Thank you.